Thank you. I'm glad there's been a break. Like, I didn't want to follow Paul up. Right, this first poem, it's about when you lose your way in life, but you rediscover yourself again. Like, you find your inner passion and your inner drive, and you find your way back in life. It's called The Animal Within. The wild, tethered animal inside creeps around like a creature of the night, an imperceptible force trying to find a way, with an urge both insatiable and immediate. Beneath an exterior of naked negations, a shocking sense of imagery and of implicit affirmations, full of flight and full of fancy, stimuli towards the self-destructive, colluding all and yet expulsive, taken on a journey to wild, all-out darkened places. Madness is not a disease, it's a mystical opposition, an act of rebellion, just trying to find a release from the dominant materialist mainstream, of a drive that can't be fixed by the trap of conformity, in a world and culture that absorbs us. Like a finely tuned concerto, the aim is to be particular, to walk through a landscape, connect, and leave a set of footsteps. Thank you. Can't see up here, can you? This next one, it's about trying to move forward in life with a positive mindset. And bringing each new day in with that mentality. It's called Morning. The timely interjection of night's cape is like an artist's bold stroke on the canvas of a fading landscape. Vision is muted as darkness rolls in, until sunlight sparks an awakening. The nocturnal pulled under as dawn breaks in, stealing night's thunder. The ocean breathes a sumptuous blue colour. Outside the garden blooms summer. An enlightenment of fitful illumination, both an internal and exterior decoration. Portraits smile and hang on the wall, no longer locked in the gloom, buried beneath the fog in a far-off room. The night restrained and all febrile to a revelatory existence of a day no longer fragile. To touch reawakened limbs and put to bed old sins with a tremendous drive, as outside the sun shines and each morning rises with a spring. Thank you. This next one, it's about everyone in this room, and it's about how we're all connected. We're all energy. It's called We Are Made of Stardust. Struck by the light of the fire, the ingenious eye dreams in the decadence of moonlight and puts pen to paper in a moment of time in which to capture the mind, all equating to the fire that burns inside. Like a fish in a net that is anchored slightly above the ocean floor, to capture a thought that swims and is caught in the flow and the stream of the subconscious. As is this, like a haul of groundfish, scattered like shards, a collection of words in letters and verse. The mind's concept writes in form, it writes in metaphor and of a poetic description, a parable that ionizes the condition, using signs and symbols as instruments, that resonate in sound using and of all our senses, scribing words via an explosive pen, translating thoughts and images directly from the head, writing a song in words that sings, bellowing loud across the ocean. Music is noise, submitted to order by wisdom. These dreams in which we speak convey a place, they inscribe a landscape in which our brains and the universe meet. They unite and we all make a connection. Thank you. Where's Tom?
Having a fag.
That's always the answer.
I know, sometimes he's having a wife.
Well, yeah. Sometimes he's doing both at the same time. Unless he's got an headache.
Right.
Yeah.
Me and Tom's always had this thing going, like, very briefly, like I was with Tom on radio station, I used to help him present it. And we always used to kind of challenge each other to, like, we'd get chatting about when you performed and that. And like how you'd always kind of fall back on your safe poems, if you like. And so we always tried to like push each other and encourage each other to read something out for the first time. So this I've never read out before. It's from my first book. Both books are here available to buy if you want. It's called The Sound of Solitude. I wrote it when I was dead young. The owl is still. The night is calm, deceiving as bad dreams haunt me. Night imagery of blood-hungry wolves in tidal waves and tornadoes, jumping off the edge of cliffs, committing suicide to save my life. Life burns, conduces relevance, as I burn through like a comet, spilling talent liberally and fast, in a blaze, as the sun shines and glistens on top of a beer froth, taking drugs deeper and deeper till I hit the bottom, luminous in the dark, distorted and depressing, self-harm and suicide, an assault of neon and electric light. The sound of solitude resonates in an instant in these shoes. Thank you. Okay, after Postmodern came out, I then went to live in a Buddhist community for 6 months, where I wrote Sanctuary. So I'm now going to recite a few out of there for you. This first one's called New Territory. Bounding over a wall into neighbouring fields, ploughing a furrow into new territories, where the soil seems more fertile. And as one began to sow the seeds in another land, the downpour of heaven once again began, and the rain washes away the grain, back onto familiar terrain, as one fills with remorse, with the rise and fall of an internal rhythm, and is thrown off balance with the ebb and flow of an illicit action that precipitates the drama and quickly turns to obsession. But, like the closing pages of a book, one finds within a revelation, a heart-beating inspiration, filled with love and anger that's righteous, a presence that hovers, ready to explode throughout these pages, as the pen begins to write, one of life and new narrative, one with insight and one with focus. Thank you. Tom, I just missed, I just read a poem out for the first time and you just missed it. Like, Anyway, it doesn't matter.
You can do it again, but it'll be the second time.
No, I'm not going to do it again. It's my start. I hope you've got one lined up and all. Good, good. This next one, it's called Isolation, but it's nothing to do with pandemic. It was written before that. Yeah, it's kind of an observation on society and how one often feels isolated in this Western modern society we live in. Settle me with a restive hand of congregation, one that makes me sit back and think again. Offer me a chink of light, as opposed to the consumer society with its dreams that end in ruined plight. As I walk on, I realise how subordinated we've become and how the soul is overrun. We pay lip service to community values. I walk through the city and I question how we hardly know our neighbours. Where's our togetherness? We're all consumed by online searches. I thought we were social creatures of the night, full of appetite and voracious. We are sold this and that, but impulsive acts don't give meaning to life. We seem to survive on monotony and convention, where phones rule everyone. The urban wasteland is a vacuum of zombies, with an absence of faith, except for a vague belief in unknown deities. We are suffocating in work, commerce and conformity. As consumed society fills our lungs, my chest deflates as I contemplate the depths of these thoughts. Thank you. Right, I'm going to attempt reading this. It's called Life is a Journey, but my eyes, I'm struggling with my eyes just lately, so I'll try my best. Days of rain are followed by heat and insomnia, and nights that go on forever. As a yellow crescent moon tilts and croons slightly out of focus. Outside of a confined room, pressed hard against the window, is darkness, with a stifling hush and a feeling of sadness. I feel the darkness, I feel it very much. But life is a journey, like catching a train as sunlight falls on the window, with a mesh of golden light obscuring passing fields, and against the glare I close my eyes. I feel the warmth, but there's a chill behind the sun that speaks of frost yet to come. I look out onto the fields, seemingly bare and full of toil, but then I see the field, it's covered in shining threads of cobwebs across every inch of soil. Lit by the sinking sun, the shimmering silks run, as I inside rise upwards. This view of life could have passed me by had I not opened my eyes and witnessed. And it strikes me that the bareness and the meaningless view of the world is an illusion, that things are real, magical and beautiful, even if you could not see them. And the sun on the window warms like the shining field's memory, and thins the armour of misery I'd worn earlier that morning, when I could feel the darkness pressing hard against the window. As the carriage of the train heads towards the sun, and one by one, passing the shimmering fields, the rhythm of life builds, transcending as it does into a tub-thumping journey. Thank you. I've got a brand new one that I finished writing yesterday, so I'm just going to trial that. It's called We the Wild. Beneath the earth's crust, in its minerals and soil, in upper air blue and muddy ooze of riverbeds, we the wild spawn, we hatch and we swarm. Tendrils writhe, spores explode as we breed and decompose. We are creatures, we are nature, we are sunrise, we are water. We are the whisper and pulse of our blood as it hums, with perpetual vibrations in many dimensions, of frailty and wildness, in sacred dreams unmapped by science. For it is here that we struggle and flourish. We love, we mate, we eat and we pray, before we disperse in sunlight, in soil, in air. Rising up beyond the treetops and merge with all that came before, in a constant state of flux, in a spiral of life and existence. Thank you. This is my penultimate. This is called Sunshine Smiles Upon My Face. I close my eyes, sweet dreams arise. I listen to the birds, listening to every musical verse. And in the music and dance that bursts with complexity and delight, I open my eyes. I see vivid colours in leaves and in flowers, amid patterns rejoicing in the garden. And like an enchanting carpet beneath my feet, the ground becomes alive, connecting me with the earth and with the trees. My body becomes one with the sky and the surroundings. Its motion, its energy, falls behind in memory. And looking up, I see the stars, red, blue and green, iridescent colours passing across, like living jewellery, luminous inwardly, breathing and flowing with the same life that's in me, as all is aligned, evoking a sense of beauty, like the teeth of a beautiful woman as she smiles, transposing exuberance as everything comes alive within this moment. Thank you. Black is night's cape, inferno it encapsulates, until banging her drums, dawn screams as she comes, abrupt and so certain, a pure relentless momentum. I'm ripped, I am torn, I am totally beaten. This rhythm of life leaves me yearning, dark, evil inferno of night. I'm Richard C. Bauer. Thank you for listening. Good night.